Hey guys, welcome to my new video about repairing this battery. So this is a 80 volt battery. This one's from Greenworks, but my understanding is that Cobalt and Snowjoe also have the same 80 volt battery. So I bought this over the summer from a guy who had a snowblower. This is for a cordless snowblower, and it wasn't working, so I got a good price on it. So of course, battery's bad. So this was for a winter project, and so now I have time to take a look at it. So battery's dead. I brought it back to life, and I'll tell you how I did that. But essentially, to get this thing open, these have these special security bits. So you need a security screws. You need a special security bit to get them off. And once you get them off, then you can pull this cover off here. And you can see all of the cells. So this is a really friendly pack to work on. As you can see, there's lots of room here. It's pretty simple. They have two circuit boards. They have the bottom circuit board, which is behind here, which is essentially all the balancing and all the control. And up here is essentially just your connectors and your transistors. So what's the configuration for this set? So essentially it's an 80 volt, right? So 20 cells, so 20 times 4 is 80. 20 cells all in series. So it's 1 in parallel, right? But 20 in series, which means that all these batteries must be in good condition because the chain is only as strong as the weakest link. So if you have one cell which is not doing too good, it doesn't matter how strong the other ones are, that's the one that's going to kill it. And once one battery dies, then the whole pack is dead. So when you have this type of configuration, it's extremely important that when you put it together, all the batteries have the same, obviously the same manufacturer, have the same capacity, have the same internal resistance, and have the same amount of life left on them. Cool. So one last thing I'd like to bring attention of is that when this thing is on the bench, right? So we can measure some cells on this, right? So this is the negative lead, right? So this one I replaced, so this one should be good. Yeah. So this is 3.6. This I think was the bad one. The next bad one. Yeah. So this is 2.4, and this is 2.5. Both these two things under load on the bench was about 1 volt. I think this bottom one was a half a volt. So even if one of the cells has half a volt, this battery pack is still providing power, right? So that's not good. The BMS apparently does not stop. It doesn't shut down if you have less than 2.5 volts on one of these 18650 batteries, right? It should, but it doesn't. So probably how the manufacturer built these is that the BMS only protects from an overcharge, right? And probably, as you can see with these resistors, it probably does some balancing as well. So this thing is only really good for charging. It's not good for discharging, right? Normally when you use it. So when you're out there clearing the snow with one of these battery packs and that snowblower dies, that means one of these cells has gone to 0 volts. That's bad because that cell will never be good again, right? So so that's a big minus to these battery packs, right? That's I don't know if it's just the Greenworks, but I suspect it's also the Cobalt and the Snowjoe that they don't protect against discharge, right? So if you're if you're plowing the snow and your battery dies, then it's really dead. That's bad. So what I think I'll do is I'll make a modification because to get these things out, I had to actually scrape away at this shell. So I think what I'll do is I'll Dremel all these till they're perfectly round, and I'll replace them all with good batteries, and I'll make sure I never die completely on a snowblower. But I'll make it such that if I ever have to replace one, I could easily just cut the tie and then pull out the one battery without disassembling the whole battery pack. So that's kind of the idea. And yep, let's do that. Okay, so these are all the batteries taken out. We know the first three were all bad. So let's see what these guys are going to spec out at. 2.2, 3.6. Write the bad ones down. 2.2, 3.6, 3.6, 3.6, 2.1, 3.6, 3.3. 3.6, 3.6, 3.6, 3.6, 3.4. 3.6, 3.4. 3.5. So, on a totally dead battery pack, a few of these are getting bad, and the rest are probably better. But, you know, if these many were bad, statistically, these are probably all diminished in some way or another. So, I don't know. These probably aren't to spec anymore either. But, anyways, so what is that? Roughly half? Half the batteries are bad? So, might as well replace them all. So let's go do that. Okay, so I went ahead and tested all of the batteries with the capacity meter. So these are the ones which are all the most consistent with the lowest internal resistance. So there's 21 here, ranging from low 30s to high 60s. So these are the most compatible. But you know, every time you get one of these lots, in this case this is a Ninja battery, at an auction, you're going to get some that are dead. So these ones were dead, but they kind of came to life. Some were dead, they just stayed dead. But these ones have much higher internal resistance. So there could be some issues with these, like they may have some internal parasitic draw. But anyhow, these are all over 100, so 125 to 106 to 125. So these are all high. These are probably going to be low current ones. I'll save these for another project. And I went ahead and also tested the original ones. So the original ones are all at around 2. Their internal resistances vary. There's one that's way off. So it's probable that, see, these ones are all still good at the end of the day. So these ones are all the ones that are the same. The ones that are way off are the ones which have the higher internal resistances. These ones are actually pretty good. These have 24 to 26, 100 milliamps, so 2.6 amp hour batteries, much stronger than the original ones. So I have pretty good success by using this method to do a large serial chain. So I have pretty good confidence that these are going to be fine. So let's go ahead and build this one with these batteries. Alright, so I'm going to take a sample set of the ones of the batteries I'm going to use. I'm going to put them on the test bench. So I'm just going to test these 6 here and see how they do. So I took the 3 best ones and the 3 worst ones. Best meaning the lowest impedance, and highest, and the worst meaning the highest impedance. So this is, I don't know if you can see, it's 37, 31, 39. This is the one that was dead, but I brought it back to life. And then 61, 63, and 71. And put them on the charger, so these should all be roughly the same same amount here. Let's go test these out. So 4.18. Those are all roughly the same. The test bench is set to around 4 amps. So 4 amps, these are rated at 24, 25, 25, 25, so 2.5 amp hours. So this one at 4 amps should be going for roughly half an hour, maybe more. Let's see how that does. But anyways, we'll fire up the test, and then we'll look at the drop right away, and then we'll see what the drop is at the end of the test. All right. So this test bench is basically watching for these things to go, I think, to 2.7 volts. So after the test, then we'll see if they're all still balanced. Right. So they're balanced up on the high end right now. We're going to see if they're going to be balanced on the low end. So let's fire this thing up. Okay. So this drawing about 3.9, almost 4 amps. So right away, let's see what the drop is. So 3.7 volts. So 3.7, 3.88. So the first one, 3.7, eh? 3.7. Yeah, holy yikes, I gotta measure these fast. 3.67, 3.9, 3.67, 3.9. See, that's why you always want to test these things before you wire them in. 3.7, 3.86, 3.7, 3.86. Wow, so the worst one is this one, 3.67. So this one was the dead one. Okay, so the test is done. Actually, these things did close to 55 minutes. So pretty good capacity. And the final result is 3.24, 3.38, 3.39, 3.32, 3.39. Pretty good. These are all basically balanced for doing that much work. That's pretty good. So that means we can put together that whole battery pack. I probably don't need to test the rest of them. I think we're good. Okay, so we have our assortment of batteries. I got the 2 that were dead, which I'd like to put on the side. So I guess we'll probably, because these ones are hard to get at once the a battery pack is put together. So we'll probably fill these up with the low resistance ones. So I put took a picture of the layout in the beginning. So I'll just kind of be following this picture layout. So I did both sides to identify which one's plus and minus. So I'm going to go by my picture record. So let's start with the 2 questionable ones. All right, we're good. All the batteries are in. Let's weld these up. Oh, I gotta take that plate off to finish the weld on that side. Yep, and then we'll weld these up and then we're good to go. All right. All right, this pack is done, and it looks like it's working. All the balance wires are plugged in correctly. Super strong, high capacity batteries, low impedance batteries. This thing is about twice as powerful as it was before, so that is perfect. So the only thing left now is to do a total balance on all these cells. Now these are all kind of out of whack. There's all sorts of cell voltages on this one. All right, we got 3.4, we got 4.19, 4.17, 4.18. Yeah, there's a whole variation. 3.4. Yeah, so there's some low, some high, some this, some that, all sorts of stuff happening here. So instead of balancing each one individually, we're going to see if we can maybe put this on, put it on the actual charger. This should be a balanced BMS. So if we put this on the charger, this should basically bring everything up, start to bring everything down, start everything blah, 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 and should get everything, so, all balanced up. So let's give this a shot on this guy here and see, do an overnight charge. All right, and let's see if we can there we go. What does flashing red mean? Flashing red means bad battery. What? What? That's not good. Hold on. What? It may not like the fact that some are high and some are low, I guess. What's going on here? What is going on? Yeah. Seen battery. Okay, so battery here. Battery here. Battery here. Battery here. Battery here. Great, great. Okay. left, right there, left, right there, ground down, all here, red, red, okay. Yeah. Okay. It could be that because these are really out of balance, that it doesn't like that they're so out of balance. That's possible. I may need to reset these leads. That's also possible. But of course, these things are glued in like idiots. Oh, hold on. That one was sticking out. All right. That wasn't it. Okay, let's balance these cell by cell. So I'll get them all to the same voltage, and then see if that was the issue. Okay, let's do that now. So these batteries are now all manually balanced. So I just went and touched up all the batteries that were less than 4 volts to around 4 volts. So these are all around 4 volts. So this should be all balanced now. Well, more or less balanced. So let's see if we can get this to charge, or at least tell us it's not a bad battery pack. All right. Oh, all right. Good. Good. Hey, fixed. So it just kind of kicked on there for a second. Good. Okay, good. So, yeah, I guess it does a check to see if any of the batteries are out of balance for more than, I guess, half a volt. And if they are, it says bad battery. Interesting, because when you're pulling through a heavy snowdrift, you know, these are not high current batteries. These are just basic lithium ions. They're not meant for high discharge. So when you're pulling that snowblower through a high drift, I guess they're expecting, you know, possibility of a huge amount of drop in some batteries. But I guess when you're back into the charging mode, then they do care about big discrepancy between varying battery voltage. Anyways, who cares? It looks good. I don't know if it's balancing, because this is not 100% balanced. Anyways, we'll leave this plugged in for a bit, and then I'll do a remeasure. But light is green, this trap is clean, so I think we're good to go. All right, this is our first big dumping of snow. This guy's been charging for a couple days on the charger, so let's see how it does.
the whole driveway, roughly 10-15 centimeters of snow, and how much we got left? 1 bar.